I once talked to you about deceptive marketing, and I used an example of yogurt. And I said that yogurt is pasteurized, so it's a waste of your time. And I know ladies have used yogurt for the longest period of time, drinking it every morning and evening, thinking or hoping that it's going to clean your organ, your vagina, or to actually enhance the pH of your vagina so that it prevents you from getting infections and to do away with the foul smell that is arising from your organs. But this is the reality. If you have a foul smell, go and do a urinalysis test. Make sure that you don't have an infection. If you have an infection, treat that infection. But lower the sugar intake in your system, including fruits and honey, because sugar feeds infections, and you will have a recurrent yeast infection. You'll have a recurrent bacterial infection in that organ. So what you have to do is check if you have an infection, treat it. Once you treat it, change your diets totally. Start fasting so that you up your immunity, okay? Because most of these conditions, most of these diseases, the urinary tract infections, actually hail from bad diets and from exposure. And you know when I say the word exposure, you know what I mean. But this is something that you should know. Companies and food industries woke up earlier than you. You are a very small figure to the food industries, and they can easily deceive you because they have top-notch nutritionists, they have top-notch scientists and professors in medicine that actually they use them to write this false research and they publish it to defend their foods. But remember this, if yogurt was okay, so simply do this. Take milk from a cow, ferment it without boiling, because that's how it has all the culture and the bacteria that you require, and the fat and the protein and the carbohydrate structure is still intact. Once you ferment it, drink it without adding sugar. That is the only way you can enjoy your fermented milk or your yogurt. But when you wait for them to come for that milk, you don't even know if that is milk. But let's say they take the milk, they go and pasteurize. Pasteurization basically means rendering it sterile. That's the reason why it stays on the supermarket shelves for the longest period of time without going bad. After rendering it sterile, they reintroduce bacteria in that, they call it culture, in that product or that yogurt. And then now they package it, they put preservatives. But remember this, you need a third eye to see these things. Imagine pasteurization means killing the microorganisms in this product. And then they tell you after pasteurization is when they introduce the culture, because this is how the guys who are basically working on the production set or people who appear woke in terms of these processes with the in the food industry. Oh, of course, the food industry defendants come after me to actually defend their point. But they said it's true that the milk is pasteurized. It's even actually written on pasteurized yogurt. So they pasteurize it, they render it sterile. And then they introduce, I'm putting that in quote because we are not even certain, they introduce the culture, which is basically lactobacillus. Now, that is a microorganism that is supposed to act on lactose to cause fermentation and then produce lactic acid, which is actually what is intended to help you, the lactic acid. But they have pasteurized it. So why did they start by pasteurizing it? Why didn't they just introduce the culture in it? So why would they pasteurize it, render it sterile, and then introduce the microorganisms that were there anyway? And then the most interesting part is they preserve it. Do you know what preservatives are? Preservatives basically mean we need to protect this product from bacteria, because bacteria are the one that cause fermentation and destroy food. So we need to protect it from microorganisms. So if you look at that statement, you'll simply know there is pasteurization and there is preservation. And then there is addition of microorganisms. So how will they survive with this preservative? This is the reason why I so need to talk about this topic, which is basically called deceptive marketing. Deceptive marketing. So they wake up early and they know what they are doing. They add in sugar without telling you, without putting it on the label, and your regulation bodies will just stamp the products and then they are in the markets. They add in fructose, they add in preservatives, they add in chemicals that are actually inflammatory and they're actually addictive, but no one puts them on the label. How many of you knew that canola is a seed oil? When I talk about seed oils and vegetable oils, everybody asks me, how about canola? It is a seed oil. It actually comes from rape seeds. But because of the name, you will never know it's a seed oil. But it's present in basically 90% of the food products that are coming from the industries. So what is coming from the industry is actually foods that have been rendered zero in nutrients. They take the whole foods, they process it, and they ultra process it. They remove all the healthy nutrients from it. And then these foods are actually fortified. And anything that is fortified has no nutrients. So that label that is written on 30 ingredients, and that is written on nutritional value, and then they write their protein, carbohydrates, fat, and all that. And they make sure that the fat is very low. So because they want to align with the guidelines of nutrition. So when you see very low in fat, you are quick to go for that product. So these are actually some of the means or some of the phrases that you will see that will actually tell you that this product is actually a waste of your time. Number one, you will see them writing on it, lactose free. Now, why would it be lactose free? Because they know adults don't have the enzyme that breaks down lactose. So most adults are actually lactose intolerant. So if you drink milk that has lactose, you are unable to digest that lactose. When you're unable to digest that lactose, you end up getting bloating, you end up getting indigestion, you end up having protein indigestion, and you start passing gas. And then you start blaming the red meat that you ate the previous day, but you don't blame the milk. So why are they getting rid of the lactose when we need bacteria to ferment this lactose to give us lactic acid that is actually important for our immune system? So lactose-free is a scam. Number two, you'll see them writing on fat-free or low-fat. That is a marketing strategy because you need fat to survive. Remember, we've talked about fats before. Essential fats and the saturated fats are very necessary for you. So when they write on fat-free or low-fat, they're actually targeting you. They are marketing that product and you become the product. When they market it, you are the product. Others are even saying nowadays we see keto chocolate bars. We even see organic chocolate. Listen to that. Organic chocolate. Where from? 100% natural, 100% organic. If it was organic, they don't need to tell you. And they put these things on billboards. But I want to tell you this. Healthy foods are not on billboards. Have you ever seen sweet potatoes on a billboard? Have you ever seen a pumpkin on a billboard? Have you ever seen eggs and organic eggs on a billboard? Have you seen fatty meats on a billboard? Have you seen fish, chicken, organic chicken, leave alone the other one that is injected with steroids and antibiotics? Have you seen organic chicken being sold on billboards, being marketed on billboards, on the highways? Have you? You will never see these foods because healthy foods can never earn them profits. They are not addictive. When you eat them, you get satisfied, so you will not need to get addicted to them. But when they get the fiber of it, they get the healthy nutrients out of it, and then they just add sugar, they modify the starch, and then this product comes in packaged and advertised and then preserved. You are always going to eat it. You know very well, when you open a pack of those potato crisps, you eat them all and you want another one because of the sugar, because of the processing, and ultra processed foods have no nutrients. But read at the label, you will see over 10 ingredients. Why? You will see the nutritional value of it is written there. A lot of false information and misguiding information, but you'll never ask why because you're already addicted to it. They tell you this diet soda and it's sugar free. So you can simply enjoy soda without having to think that this soda can affect my health. They tell you that brown is better than white. So they tell you brown chapati is better than white chapati, as though your body knows color. Your body knows you ate glucose or fructose. The body does not understand the colors brown and white. When you eat brown chapati, you will not absorb the brown chapati. You will absorb either the glucose in it or the nutritional value in that chapati. And what is the nutritional value in that chapati, whether brown or white? The same thing. So and now even brown chapatis are very expensive. That soda is very expensive for a reason, because they know who they are targeting. Okay, they know who they are targeting. You drop the milk, you run and buy yogurt. And when you're buying this yogurt, you're thinking this is the best yogurt ever because it's written on sugar-free, yeah, and then lactose-free. And then you start buying it and thinking that, oh my God, now I can take this and enjoy it. When you get that bloating, you'll not even associate it with their product. Deceptive marketing at its best. So don't fall for that. Healthy foods are not advertised. Healthy foods are what you have control over. You can actually go scan the markets and you'll see the differences. But if your route is always in the supermarket, you will never see the difference. And every time I tell you To eat healthy foods, most of you start telling me healthy foods are for the rich. Now listen, you are rich in your own way. You just don't know it. Because how then do you end up filling that supermarket trolley with unhealthy foods at the end of the month? How? If you're not rich, how is your supermarket trolley filled to the brim with bread, with soda, with juices, with processed meats? How? How is it full with seed oils, with wheat products, ugali flour, the rice? How did you end up affording those, but you cannot afford ghee? Why don't you just substitute? And that's the point that I keep insisting. I am not telling you to eat unhealthy foods and then still eat healthy foods, because you're either in or out. So nobody's telling you to substitute, to actually change. You eat the unhealthy foods so you can buy your seed oil and then buy your ghee. Nobody's telling you that, because I know most of you, you will buy seed oils. You cook chapatis with seed oils. And nowadays I can see other people actually cooking chapati with ghee. So you can imagine that. So you've purchased wheat flour, you've cooked mandazi, you've cooked chapati, and then you're cooking this chapati using ghee. So you actually wasted that ghee. I talked to you yesterday, the other day about how you do it. You take bread and then you apply butter on it. And they lied to you that when you apply butter or when you apply the avocado on bread, as long as that bread has fat, it is healthy for you. And you followed it. Now you're eating bread, you're suffering from the consequences of that wheat, because you can eat wheat now. But give yourself a month from now. The effects of that wheat that you ate now are still in the system. So don't expect when you drop bread now, tomorrow your gastritis is gone. Don't expect when you drop your white chapati and your brown chapati now, tomorrow your skin condition is gone. It will take some time to clear off the system. But as long as you're feeding the system with healthy foods, the system will work a way out. So I thought you should know. Do not fall for deceptive marketing. Okay? Healthy foods have the minimal ingredients. So be cautious about everything you eat. Read the ingredients, understand it. Any ingredient that you see in a food that you don't understand, drop it. Don't eat ultra-processed foods. Eat whole foods. Prioritize fats, proteins, vegetables, avocados. These are foods that will actually boost your immunity and you'll live happily ever after. So be very cautious.